you know that the pressure inside your uterus during labor could make the difference between a healthy delivery and a devastating birth injury like HIE or a potential subsequent cerebral palsy or CP diagnosis? Today we're going to look at this issue from a medical legal perspective and explore how improper monitoring of uterine pressure during labor can in some instances lead to outcomes that might have been prevented. So let's take some time and let's start by talking about resting pressure. This is a baseline pressure in the uterus between contractions. It's measured using an intrauterine pressure catheter or an IUPC. A healthy resting pressure is typically going to be between 8 to 12 millimeters of mercury. When the uterus has adequate resting pressure, blood and oxygen can flow properly to your baby. But if the resting pressure, if it's too high, your baby could be at risk. When the resting pressure is too high, it means that the uterus isn't relaxing enough between contractions. And that can be a big problem because what it can do is reduce the oxygen supply to your baby. And in more severe cases, this can lead even to things like a uterine rupture. If a rupture happens, the blood supply to the placenta can be cut off and the oxygen that your baby needs, it can't reach them, putting them at risk for life-threatening injuries like HIE or even subsequent CP or cerebral palsy diagnoses. Resting pressures over 25 millimeters of mercury are particularly dangerous. At this level, the uterine muscle puts excessive strain on the placenta, severely restricting blood flow and oxygen supply to the baby. If this situation isn't recognized and addressed in a timely manner, it can lead to serious harm to your baby. That's why it's so important for your medical team to continually monitor the uterus during labor and respond quickly to signs of trouble. Now, how do doctors measure or monitor this pressure? Like I said earlier, they will use an IUPC, which gives direct readings of uterine tone. Unlike external monitors, the IUPC provides accurate real-time pressure readings. If your doctor sees that the resting pressure is too high, they should take action, either by adjusting the medications that are causing contractions or in some cases moving to an emergency C-section if the baby is in distress. If your hospital doesn't have the right monitoring equipment or they fail to act when the pressure is too high, this can present serious problems. Not only does it affect your baby's oxygen supply, but it can also lead to other dangerous complications. It's the medical team's responsibility to take immediate action, and if they don't, they could be held accountable in certain situations. So take some time and think back to your own experience. If you're a mother watching this, did you have an IUPC placed during labor, especially if there were concerns about contractions or other issues during your labor? Were there signs that your baby was in distress that weren't addressed? It's important to ask these types of questions and understand what happened during your labor. Sometimes medical teams, they fail to act when they should. And in some cases, this can lead and can have serious consequences. If your baby was harmed because of inadequate monitoring, there may be legal avenues for you to explore. I understand that this is a lot. This is a lot to process, but knowing what went wrong and why it may have happened is essential. Medical malpractice can contribute to birth injuries. And if you think that your baby's HIE, brain injury, or subsequent cerebral palsy diagnosis could have been prevented with proper monitoring, you have the right to seek answers. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and if you have any other questions about your baby's HIE brain injury at birth from a medical legal standpoint or a subsequent CP or cerebral palsy diagnosis, all of this stuff from a medical legal perspective, do not hesitate to reach out and contact me. If you're on certain apps, you can send me a DM, or you can click my profile. You can find out more information about me there, or you can just wait and watch the picture that follows this video. All right, that's going to be it for this evening's quick educational video. Have a great evening, everybody.